Dude, when I've got hover zoom, so what it plays videos when I hover over things temporarily, and I hover over this, it's playing the Jared video. You can see it on my stream. That's brilliant. Okay, are we ready, folks?
Yes.
Here we go.
As a long-time gamer, I've grown up on Sony,
Nintendo,
Jesus.
and Microsoft. Somewhere along the lines, though, most people
I still have the
same.
the audio extension up.
Yeah, just switch it to green.
Yeah, I think what happened with mine was the control is like bugged in the, you know, the lowest option, that's my highest, and then the next one is lowest. So it makes like the highest one, it's just, I don't know, it's fucked. Maybe I need to reboot Chrome, but I can't be asked to do that right now. But anyway, let's hear
Yeah,
now.
that one destroyed my eardrums.
As a long-time gamer, I've grown up on Sony, Nintendo,
Tonald.
and Microsoft.
Is that him? Is that his name, Tonald?
Yes.
Well, that's the name he puts out there, but you know, no one has the name Tonald, so.
That's so fucking awful.
Yeah, have you ever heard
It's
of
like
somebody
a Final
called Tone?
Fantasy character.
Isn't Tone not a name, but an actual, like, thing? Like, Tone, it's, I don't know.
Skin tone. He's got to make sure he's watching that Skin Tone and Dollar Shave Club ad.
Get woke,
No,
Tone Loke.
Loke. He didn't even capitalize.
Somewhere along the lines, though, most people
It's just a
choose their
stylistic
loyalties
choice,
towards one
Rags.
platform. I imagine by necessity, of course. Money doesn't grow on trees, after all. Others become devoted
Just comes
to a
from trees.
Yeah. It's cotton. I mean, yeah. And where does
Cotton
cotton come
money.
from? Comes from the cotton fields.
Comes from the blacks.
That's right.
The Muller channel does not necessarily reflect the opinions of both Rags and the Tonald Wolf.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
You're friends with us. That makes you racist.
You're
by
racist by
proxy.
proxy.
Oh, as if I'd even need that when I made the Black Panther video. My,
Yeah, if you didn't like Black Panther, your fate's already sealed.
I was done. Everyone hated me from then on.
particular brand because they like what it stands
Oh, someone's saying I need to make Discord emotes of just Jared's face.
for, or what exclusive games are on offer, the power of it, the price of it, or just what it can do.
Oh my god,
Being
that
a gamer
face.
isn't the cheapest hobby. Getting operational with a new console, a few games, and accessories will run you over $500 usually, and keeping up with new games as they come out will steadily drain your wallet. Then considering the amount of pre-order items, DLC, in-game monetization, and subscription-based applications such as PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live,
He's right so far.
and it adds up to even.
Yeah, like nobody's gonna disagree. That
I'm wondering if is this going to be the actual problem that it costs money to play games? Because yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
It's like this turns into a capitalism rant or something.
Even more. It's hard to give up that kind of expenditure, especially when your gaming library for a particular console gets larger and
Watch
your
Last
attachments
Guardian
with it.
gameplay makes me angry. The game is
Just
just so
runs so
bad.
terrible.
Everything about it is bad.
I am a major diehard fan of Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian was disappointing.
I was so excited when that game actually turned out to be coming, and then I played it, and I was like, oh, it's bad.
At least the hyena bird's cute.
I wanted to like it, okay?
Yeah, it's cute when it actually does what you need it to do.
Have you heard the
but sometimes
justification
it'll
for
just,
that?
Like, watch.
They like the thing disobeys regularly because it's supposed to create the idea that it's kind of like playing with an actual animal.
Yeah, the only problem is that it's really fucking annoying.
I was just like, that doesn't translate to mechanics because you're just sitting there like, is my game broken? Is my game broken?
Yeah, I mean,
They
come on.
just not like me.
I mean, there's a scripted event where you have to jump off a building, and it's supposed to catch you, and half the time it'll just stare at you as you fall into an abyss.
It's like, fuck this guy. I hope he likes me this playthrough.
That's yeah, that
My
definitely
life
happened to
depends
me.
on it.
God, this game is so terrible. I can't believe people made that stupid. Like, if you make that kind of excuse, just stop pretending you're smart.
What if it's
I
the
mean, come
developers
on.
who said that?
Okay, well, the developers should stop making games then.
It's not that our game's broken, it's just that the animal doesn't like your face. That's all it is.
Despite us all being on the same side at the end of the road,
I don't agree with that. There's some fucking vile ass console fanboys out there, man.
No, I just love it's
And they
like
fucking hate our guts.
I love the idea that he's like, ultimately we all agree, and Rags is like, I disagree with that.
No, there's some vile ass motherfuckers out there who want you to suffer because you didn't buy the right corporation game box.
Oh yes.
Jesus Christ.
You didn't buy the PS4 2.
I mean, you didn't buy the PS4, so fuck you. I hope no games come out, and I hope your mother drowns. And it's just.
It's not even being hyperbolic. That is the kind of shit that
It's
Stadia.
like joke's on you. She already drowned.
Yeah, jokes on you. How do you know that name?
We are so segregated in this $82 billion world video game.
Market.
That was.
What does
that
he mean?
was poorly.
What does he mean segregated? What? What?
Blacks and whites, you know.
Yeah. PlayStation is black and Xbox is white.
Well, just curious. Is he saying this like we're segregated across Xbox to PS4? I guess that must be what he's saying.
I suppose,
Like-
but it's self-segregation, so it's okay, right?
That's like saying you're segregated by choosing to go to the gym instead of swimming or something. You'd be like,
Instead
Well,
of
yeah,
being
you're-
cared.
You're segregating yourself between the people at McDonald's and you at the gym, because you each made your choice, and the people at the gym chose wrong. It's that simple.
I don't know. He's probably just trying to make it sound a bit more doom and gloom, isn't he?
That can't.
No.
No.
From Tone Loke, come on.
Oh, Tone Loke. What a stupid fucking. No, and he's super edgy. He's like, no, it's Tone Loke.
Donne Loke.
Yeah, it's Japanese.
Tone
Loke.
Kratos versus the Master Chief versus
What?
Link. It's
What?
all a big game to get
Huh?
you.
Oh, he's
Can we
saying
rewind that?
he's saying
I guess he's comparing like.
yeah, like a metaphor way. It's the mascots versus each other because of their system sellers, isn't it?
Yeah, because of how sad people are. It's like Master Chief's better than Zelda because he is a fucking
Dude, there was
gun. and
there's
shoots
this-
Zelda in the face.
there's a website that's still going today called True Achievements, which took your Xbox 360 like achievement score and points, and it would aggregatedly take the amount of people who've played the game versus got the achievement to build you a new score. And so the idea is, if 10 people had played the game and only one person got the achievement, then its score gets times by like 10 or whatever. So you get like a reimagined gamer score based on how difficult the achievements were. And they did this.
The Virgin meter.
Yeah, they did this special where they were like, okay, we're gonna have mascots from all different kinds of gaming areas, and you can vote on who would win in a fight. And you know Ezio from Assassin's Creed. This was like the height of Assassin's Creed's fame with that character. He ends up like winning the entire thing. He beat out Master Chief, and you know the main character from Prototype. He beats him in a fight apparently.
Okay.
And
Okay, I guess.
it was the most
Totally not a fan. No, totally not a popularity contest.
exactly. I was like, I don't necessarily give a shit, but like, really, you're gonna say
It's
that?
like,
I mean, don't get me
shields and
wrong.
Automatic weapons. I just.
It's like, don't get me wrong, I love Ezio as a character, but
But you know, it's just like an assault rifle is an assault rifle, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but
imagine putting him up against Prophet from Crisis, where he can
What?
go invisible and enhance his armor and like throw you off a roof from 100 miles
have you guys
away.
played Prototype? Like the character is like a morphing series of tentacles that can do anything.
I know.
It's like,
I know about him. Yeah.
it's
yeah.
like nobody's gonna beat him. he's like he can be shot and survive. It's like I think you're fucked.
Console Wars, Microsoft versus Sony versus Nintendo. Kratos versus the Master
Nintendo.
Chief versus
Nintendo.
Link. It's all a big game to get you to pledge loyalty to a brand. As of
You
today,
loyalty
the PlayStation 4
brand.
has sold
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
the thing is-
Emphasize.
And people do it. That's the thing. That's just so crazy that people do that shit, and it's like a mark of pride because they've attached themselves to a corporation.
and I was gonna say, what else? It's not like they have a choice. You know, if you ran your own company, one of the first things you want to do if you're running a console is we need exclusives. Otherwise, we're dead in the water. If one of
It's
Sony
a fucking
or
shame that that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to be that, but that's just what people expect, and that's what companies do, and that's
Well,
what people go with.
let's put it this way: if there were no exclusives, then you'd only buy one of the machines, wouldn't you? Because you'd be like, I can get all the exclusives
yeah,
on one,
so
so I just want the
then-
best machine in terms of hardware,
Well, yeah, it would be about hardware, price, and services,
which
and
is
things like that.
yeah. And
Which I
so I don't know. I don't know if you can have a world. I mean, technically speaking, perfect world to me is that we all evolved to the point where it's just like consoles aren't needed anymore, and you just have like PCs with. I don't know. Maybe a marketable mainline PC that's just essentially a console, but PC parts, and you can.
You just buy like little boxes that are mini PCs. Well, I mean, they're out there.
That's
It's
what the
just a matter
Steam
of-
Steam did that, right? They released. Well, they released
Yeah,
something.
Zotac does them. Steam's got some out there. It's just a matter of getting them into the public square. And most people, it's not like a tech thing. It's just they just think console. They just think Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. That's just how they think.
And let's be honest, like all three of us own a console outside of the PC, right? Like we own.
Yeah, I don't play it, but I've got them.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got my PS4 in prep for when there's something on PS4 I really want to play that I can't on PC. So they got me, you know, because I want to play the exclusives. It's just, I don't know, it
Just
seems
about
like the only thing you can do if you're going to be running a business in this position.
double the amount of its most pertinent competition, the Xbox One. The console has totaled somewhere in the realm of 75 million sales.
I like how he says its most pertinent competition with the Xbox. It's like
I'm
that's the
confused.
thing. Like,
What are the three lines?
I don't know. I guess it's sales.
PS4 versus Xbox versus Switch. Which is which? I'm assuming, is he color-coded
I'm
it with...
assuming.
Blue,
I'm assuming
green,
that the
red.
blue is PlayStation 4, green is Xbox, and then I guess white wasn't a good color for Switch, so we just went with red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope that's the actual... Because otherwise this will be
guess so.
confusing.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Compared to that of 35 from Xbox. You can ignore the red line here, which represents the Nintendo Switch. That console has only been
Oh,
out
yeah.
for 2 years.
Okay.
Most of this success can be attributed to more exclusive video games and a better start during the
Man, that game runs like shit. Jesus.
And no offense, but like
Launch.
he hasn't said anything that everyone doesn't know yet.
He's basically said there are people he's basically said there are console fanboys.
Yeah, and it's often down to
They're
exclusives.
Yeah, there are corporate slaves. Yes, there are.
The Xbox One kind of stumbled early with its mixed messaging regarding used video games, non-optional Kinect hardware integration, and its high retail price of $500. It wasn't until Microsoft started selling $400 versions of the Xbox One without the Kinect in June of 2014.
I like this relevant footage.
Yeah, it's Dark Souls.
Oh, I think it's... Is it Neo?
Did the actual
Oh, it's Dark Souls... Demon Souls,
What is
maybe?
it?
I don't think it's
Is
Dark
this-
Souls.
Is it? What is it? It's
Someone in
it's,
chat
This
will-
isn't Bloodborne either. This looks
It's
like
not-
some.
My guess is
What is
Neo, but
this?
it could not be that as well. Someone in chat, inform.
What is this game that is similar to Dark Souls?
Sekiro? Oh no, it wouldn't be that, I don't think. Someone
Dark
said Neo.
Souls of Dark Souls.
Shit, you're right.
Yeah, a couple people
Neo.
are saying
start
Neo.
heading in the right
Neo. Okay.
Oh,
right
Neo.
direction.
Okay.
So today, the PlayStation is in a really good spot. While it's got a ways to go to becoming a top 5 selling console of all
I
time.
like how you just decided to put the PlayStation down the list. This is such an unappealing looking image.
I know. Why did he... I know he highlight... You don't need to highlight, just put an arrow if you really need people
Why
who
didn't you
can't
just,
read
like-
PS4.
You could have just snipped out the PlayStation 4, blurred out everything else, enlarged it a little bit,
Well,
and made that clear.
what I would have done is I would have just gone up to because they're already in boxes. All you have to do is just use the box tool on Paint, make it red, and just have it cover that row, and just highlight that whole row in a red box.
I like that Rags has the paint solution. It's like, that's how low this goes. You could get a paint solution.
Well, it's like you just click it, and it's so fucking easy. It's so quick and easy. I made videos on Movie Maker until like 4 videos ago. So that's what my mindset is.
These relative sales figures do prove that it has done a good job so far. And
Okay.
most people would consider the PlayStation 4 to be one of the better consoles.
By
I'm
who?
sure.
2
I'm
minutes.
sure some people think that.
We got two minutes and 20 seconds of nothing still. I'm still waiting for something that he says that I go, oh, you know, just something that wakes me up. Like, you can
Right.
do it, dude.
It's like,
consoles to have ever been made. Still, one would hope that the success of the PlayStation would not stop anytime soon, as we all want more awesome exclusive games like
You just said that it's bad that we have brand loyalty thanks to mascots, and now he's saying that we all want it to continue because we want more exclusives.
Can't we just get good games? Why do we need good exclusives?
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't say I'm actually. I would. So I own a PS4, and I would actually say I don't want it to continue with shoving so many good games onto exclusives because I have to fucking spend more money.
Yeah, it's like, you think I'm relishing the idea that I have to buy a Switch to play Super Smash Brothers? Like, that's the thing. Like, I only play on PC, but if a game can be on console without it compromising the integrity of the game, then yeah, put it there. More people, the better. Better for the developers, better for more gamers. Put it out there. Let people play it.
I mean, I'd like to have all the God of War games on PC so then I can actually play it without having to, like, rent a fucking stream copy of the first God of War in order to play it.
At 31 FPS.
If that, the game stalls all the time.
That is a legit, like, ongoing thing for PC. How do we find ways of playing games that are exclusive? It's like, that's just the never-ending problem that people have. Emulators basically like 10 years behind at all times, and even though I think they've got the Switch emulators working now, actually, from what I've seen.
I heard it's pretty good. I know they got it working for, like, Breath of the Wild and stuff, and I heard it was pretty crazy.
I'll have to try an emulator to see if I can get the original God of Wars, or at least everything before God of War 3.
To clarify for the audience, this video is called The PlayStation 4's Not So Problematic Problem. No, I do not know how any of this relates, but we're probably going to find out. Let's hope.
We might.
Of it at E3 this year, I'm not so sure that Sony is in the position to sell a huge more amount of the PlayStation 4.
A huge more amount. Damn, son.
I'm putting that in my notes.
That mastery of the English
A
language.
huge more amount, man. That's crazy.
Of consoles is most likely going to hit in 2019.
How do you people play these fucking games at these frame rates? How do you people do it?
Yeah,
oh
you know,
my god.
Wait, you're talking about 30 FPS,
like,
yeah?
Yeah, it's like, if 30 FPS best case scenario with these games. I'm watching the screen and I'm going, how do you people fucking
So you're telling
do
me
it?
that you want to double the frames? You want to have that much of a huge more frames?
Remember the human eye.
Huge more frames.
You know, I actually, like, there's people that tell me, like, oh, there's no effect with having 60 FPS. It doesn't change anything. It's like, you've literally never played anything on 60 FPS.
All I will say is that if it's a consistent stative 30 FPS, I can get used to it. I'm not happy with it. I can get used to it. But to say that it's no different than 60, I'm just like, I already know that you would say it's different if you could have them both right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, I like Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's like, this game would be so much better on PC if I could run it at 1080p 60 FPS.
But Wolf, it's more cinematic.
Alright.
Because, guys, films are in 24 FPS. You're lucky to get 30.
2019 or 2020,
Yeah,
maybe
because a movie and a video game are this.
You watch them both, don't you?
At best, so not too far down the road. Knowing this, there is much hesitation in buying a PlayStation 4 right now, especially because the Pro is kind of in a janky position. 4K TVs are common, but they're not too common. And even still...
I don't even...
Dude, how did he just say that?
Instead of going, oh, what I meant to say was... I mean, but they're common, but they're not too common.
What I'm doing right now is just like taking notes of the funniest things he says because they're just gonna be in my April Fool's video. This works. It's like
they're common,
right.
but they're not too common.
Maybe we heard that wrong. Let's scoot back a little bit.
No, we didn't
4K
hear that
TVs
wrong.
are common, but they're not too common. Even still, PS4 Pro games running at a native 4K.
Idiot, Elmer Thrust. How do you say that line and not immediate? Oh, maybe I should reword.
Yeah,
that.
it's about emphasis. Like, they're common, but they're not too common. I mean, that still doesn't mean anything, but you kind of know.
yeah, no, it's all down to inflection. He said they're common, but they're not common. It's like, that's how it sounds
common,
to the
but
audience.
they're not too common.
It's like he emphasizes words that don't need to be emphasized, but then when he doesn't emphasize the correct words, and then it doesn't sound. It just sounds like a total contradiction.
He needs to know which words to put huge more emphasis on.
Huge more
Needs more Bilbo Baggins quotes.
All right, so let's see. All right, yeah.
We're only at 30 frames per second. So to those on the PC crowd looking to get into consoles and maybe buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, it's kind of a tough sell. So how do you ask people who want to buy a console now to buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, knowing that the PlayStation 5 is probably not that far off? That's
You
one
don't.
kink in the wrench for Sony right now, even though the PlayStation
Wait.
4 is...
Did you say kick in the wrench?
Oh, let me check.
I've never heard that
PlayStation 5 is probably
expression.
not that far off. That's one kink in the wrench for Sony right now.
Kink?
That's kink in the wrench.
Is that a phrase?
I never heard that.
A kink
about
in the
to see.
wrench. I just want to have a look if that's actually a thing. I've never heard that one before. Throw another kink in the wrench. Yeah, apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, throw a kink in the wrench. It's a metaphor. It's a mashup of throw a monkey wrench in the works and iron out the kinks.
Well, fair enough. I was going to say
Well-
that's way too weird for him to have made up.
Well, the thing is, it's called a metaphor, which is an unintentional blended idiom,
Oh.
and that's the only link that I could find for it.
So he unintentionally said something that might be correct.
No, he said it. He said it wrong, but because enough people say it wrong, this one website shows it as a thing that people say that's wrong.
So
Because
so
there's
so
nothing
it's
else
like
that says kink in the wrench.
what's that saying that oh yeah, I could care less. America screwed that one up. It's supposed to be I couldn't care less, but you guys started saying I could care less so much that it caught on.
Was that an American thing? Or
I'm
was that
almost
just
certain it's an
people
American
generally?
thing. Because British people
like-
say I couldn't care less.
It's like how we changed twat to twat.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that's an accent thing because like my
that's an
accent sounds right when I say twat, but you guys saying twat sounds a bit wrong. Because you go twat like sort of thing because it's so
Twat.
twat comes out American. It's like I think that's how that happened anyway.
I guess. I don't know. I think that just the difference between couldn't and could and couldn't. I think a lot of people just.
Oh,
I
I'm
think a lot of
not
people just
saying I
confuse
actually
those
have
generally.
anything to cite for you, like why it's an American versus a British thing. It's just that I never hear it over in Britain, but I hear it all the time from Americans. And there's actually a video from David Mitchell on YouTube complaining about it, and I'm pretty sure he said Americans are to blame. Because if we pulled that up, I totally would explain it. Don't worry, I'm not blaming you guys. You guys are
Maybe.
great. Present
Oh, yeah,
company
maybe
excluded.
that is the case. No, there's a lot of Americans fucking can't speak English. Worth of shit.
You just hate America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mahler. Why do you hate Americans?
How do you know I'm not American?
That's true. I don't. Let me this here.
Now, even though the PlayStation 4 is amazing and it's doing incredibly well. So you could say it's a nice problem.
But remember,
to have,
this is
but
a
still-
video called "The Problem with the PS4."
But it's not a
Problems in
problem.
quotes. Yeah, it's not a problem. I guess. I don't know. The video's
So
almost
wait,
halfway done.
Are we assuming then that the problem is that it's hard to sell to people who don't like 30 FPS, but it's not really a problem because it's selling well? Is that the point of his video? I guess we'll find out.
I
Still a
guess.
problem nonetheless from a business perspective. One thing that games companies do to accelerate sales towards the end phase of a console lifecycle is by ramping up exclusive video game development.
Didn't we already cover that? Exclusives? Alright.
Sort of. Yeah, he touched on them.
He
I
said
don't-
ramping them up. Let's see what he means by that.
As we've seen with God of War, Yakuza 6, the remaster of Shadow of Colossus, and the upcoming games like Detroit Become Human, and of course The Last of Us Part 2, it's clear that Sony does understand the need to get your attention right now.
It launched with Bloodborne. That's like the exclusive for PS4 that people reference, right? Like they're like, you should.
I don't know. It was so many years ago. That's the thing.
Well, this is all exclusive because his argument is that there's more exclusives as time goes on, which isn't necessarily untrue because of frequency. It's like that's gonna happen, but how often they're released, I don't think it's. From my knowledge, I don't think it really changed, did it?
I don't know about frequency. I know that like the Xbox always gets called out a lot for not having games.
Hmm.
I don't really keep. I off the top of my head, I don't really keep up that much. Though I think the PlayStation does definitely have more exclusives, way more. But I don't know about when they did come out and the frequency of the times they came out.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe they do ramp up their exclusives as time goes on to try and get more people to buy it. Yeah, sure,
maybe.
whatever.
And they have sure been given a gift by our old buddies, Microsoft. The Xbox One team hasn't really done too much to compete with Sony lately in terms of giving us great games that you can't get anywhere else than on the Xbox One.
What?
This makes me think.
Okay, but didn't he just talk about in the beginning of the video about how it's bad that that's a thing that happens anyway? You know,
Maybe
exclusives.
he's trying to, like. Maybe he's.
Rags.exe is still working.
Don't try to break this down in any other theory but Jared's
'Cause-
response
Team
theory.
hasn't really done too much to compete with Sony lately in terms of giving us great games that you can't get anywhere else than on the Xbox One. This makes me think that they are focused.
And the other thing he's just brazenly ran over is like, so there are no good exclusives. Like, I'm sure there's some people who think Gears of War 4 is good, right?
Oh yeah, I heard it got good reviews.
And I don't know enough about the exclusives on Xbox One, but it's just like, are they all bad, really? And then, like I said, this is a point that he had against the console conflict at the beginning. But now it's a bad thing that it doesn't have good exclusives. Like, alright.
I wish he'd just get to the fucking point.
Dude, what is called the not so problematic problem, I don't think we're going to get a clear answer on what the hell's going on.
Focusing on getting the next Xbox out before the PlayStation 5, especially since they know that they've already lost this generation of hardware, at least in terms of sales.
Okay.
Microsoft will continue to support the Xbox One for a long time and put out the occasional exclusive game in the process, but Sony is doing a much better job, not just in terms of putting out games, but putting out good games. With the
Okay.
I'm glad you could just, that's just true.
Okay.
Thanks.
fallout of
Alright.
Halo 5, Recore, and a few other games released last year, there's really not much out there for the Xbox One right now.
Okay.
Uncharted, Horizon Zero Dawn, Neo, The Last Guardian. Some of these games made sure that
Not The Last Guardian is a very
17.
bad example. The others
That was
okay,
pretty
but
mixed. I heard that was pretty mixed.
it was not a good game.
What the fuck
just-
game is this?
This is Uncharted 4.
Oh.
This is? Oh,
This
I
is like
didn't-
really early on in the game.
Oh, I've never played Uncharted. It just looks
Oh.
like another third-person cover-based action shooter.
Which, yeah, that's, you know,
Seems to be.
I love how he just brushes it. You know the whole, like, this is just my opinion, then he says, like, PS4 is destroying Xbox for exclusive games that are actually of quality. It's just like, you don't want to, like, prove any of it. You don't want to, like, qualify any of this. It's just like, just boom, boom, boom. They're all good. These are all bad. It's like, alright.
This is such a weird clip to use from Uncharted 4.
I
It's
know.
Like you could have chosen one of the action clips, but it's like the story bit. At
Where
the
you could
beginning.
see Drake's face at the very least. You'd be like, oh, there he
That's
is.
how I didn't know. I
Or
was
at
like,
the very
this guy's
least, like,
swimming.
show the gameplay, not like, or the gunplay, not just like. I mean, this
Fucking
I mean-
swimming. And the water.
just
it was all
a
about
weird
Sony.
choice.
So in addition to this being a year dominated by Sony exclusives, that trend is well represented in the past as well. But are there enough?
I don't know about that. Wasn't the 360 era versus PS3? I'm pretty sure the 360 won. Like,
It did
overall.
over here. Yeah, absolutely. It did
And
over
I'm not
here,
going
I
to say
think.
it's because they had better exclusives. I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure that it wasn't always PS3 had the best shit going on. In fact, the exclusives for Xbox 360, we're talking about Gears of War 2, which was... I loved that game. Then you got Halo 3, which, let's be honest, that's adored.
It's a system seller.
This is kind of testing my memory. I'm trying to think of, like, what else was exclusive for 360. I'm sure the chat will know. There's got to be a...
Red Dead Redemption.
Was that...
I think
360
Mass Effect 1 was initially.
Yeah, Red
Mass
Dead
Effect-
Redemption.
Halo
there
Reach
was
as
all
well, yeah.
There weren't exclusives, but the Call of Duties really sold people well on it. Crackdown, Gears of War. Let me see the Halo stuff.
Didn't Mass Effect 1 initially come out as a Xbox exclusive, or am I
That's-
thinking of the wrong
It's
game?
very possible. I'm not sure.
Was Forza? Is Forza? And
Was Bioshock
Fable?
originally? No, Bioshock was on PS3. I'm sure of that. Unless it got released later, it might have initially been a.
what about Left 4 Dead?
Well, that was definitely on PC.
Yeah,
But
I think
maybe-
comparing consoles.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't quite remember. But yeah, point being is that we can't even prove the statement, and he's just said it's true. And it's like, could at least.
Now-
Oh yeah, Fable. People love Fable.
Yeah, Fable. The first one was good. Now Mass Effect eventually came out on PlayStation. Dead Rising.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
I always
people love
forget
Dead
about
Rising.
those games. It just got progressively worse.
I think the first Saints Row was only on Xbox.
Maybe at first. On all the Saints Row on if we're talking about PS3 versus
first
360.
Well, the first one.
Maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, Fable was definitely popular as well. So, and yeah, Red Dead was on PlayStation 3. But
Oh, Blue Dragon.
Blood Dragon?
Blood Dragon?
No, Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon.
Oh, I've never
Blue
heard
Dragon.
of that.
I never played it, but I heard it was really, really good.
Yeah, like I said, either way, there are exclusives that were strong on the 360 because I think Halo 3 is enough, you know? Like just Halo 3.
But the thing is, one thing about the Xbox is that it was really big, like, for online stuff. It was
Yeah, no, they nailed
it.
it.
Really big with Call of Duty and Halo and the shooter.
If you remember,
like the Dude Bro shooters, all that
PlayStation 3 took like 2 years to implement like a really good party chat system. Like they didn't have it.
I don't think it ever had it. I don't think PlayStation 3 ever had cross game chat or party chat.
Yeah, while
because I don't
360
think
was
it had
like
enough memory.
just so much better for that department.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you wanted it online, like it was hands down. If you wanted the best online experience, you definitely bought an Xbox 360. Yeah, if you weren't on PC, you were playing on Xbox.
Sorry, Downward Thrust. We're taking you off in
to get
tangents.
people
Sorry, we're
excited
saying-
to buy a PlayStation 4
We're not
Pro,
sorry at all.
gamers who do not have a console. That's honestly a question.
Do you like the cutting between random PS4 games just because why not? It's just like
You know, yeah, it's like keep with the same game so I can fucking see what he does with the goddamn box.
so you're like concerned with.
Just go. It's like show me something interesting. Like whenever I start a video and I've got the message playing, I'm like, choose like a little interesting clip people might want to see where you're wrecking the enemy team or something funny happens.
Well,
It's, something interesting to look at.
my question becomes like, if you're going to talk about statistics in any way, shape, or form, why don't you show some sales figures? Why not show some articles that say what you're saying instead of just here's Uncharted, I guess. Why not?
And you can put nowadays. I couldn't do this in Movie Maker, but I know in Vegas, I'm like I could have like a game. I could just sit down and jerk around in Grand Theft Auto for 30 minutes. Hit a button, save the last 30 minutes, and then that could just be playing. And whenever I wanted to put a graph or something over it that was relevant to what I was saying, I was like, oh, I said this, put the graph here.
You could put
Stuff
a
like
huge more effort into these videos, is what you're saying.
You could put a huge more.
Huge more.
Titanic
Question
mini
for those
effort.
interested in the upcoming PlayStation 4 exclusives. But if you like single-player games like God of War and The Last of Us, I think there's enough to get people to jump on board. Time will
I mean, I guess if it's selling
Yeah.
a lot, But
Again,
that's the thing.
He's really not saying anything. It's like,
Yeah.
non-committal statement. Some people might jump
Very
to the
non-committal.
PS4 because of its exclusives. You're like, sure,
Yeah, sure.
can't
tell
deny
those
that.
individual
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean that's the main reason people buy the consoles they buy is just for the exclusives. And that's a shame, but that's how it is right now.
individuals do just that.
The Giants used to gather here to trade with
What does
Braun
this have
for long
anything to do with what you just said?
This
Wonder
is-
if Odin
dude,
was ever here. It's like, oh,
This is
thanks,
fast becoming one of my favorite memes with the essay people. They just play a cutscene thing that just doesn't matter.
It has
If you ever want
absolutely
random clips,
nothing to
let me
do.
know, and I'll just throw random clips your way. It's like it can jump anything from Overwatch to 7 Days to Die to fucking anything. Just random. Here, quick random clip.
Since the launch of the PlayStation 4, there haven't been a lot of price cuts. Launching at $400, there has only been one official price dump from Sony, that being the drop to $350 to the base PS4 made in October of 2015.
Okay.
You might pick it up for a few bucks cheaper here and there, depending on what version you
Punches
buy, but
into
generally,
script object.
350 smackers.
It's punching wood.
He
has to build a
literally
crafting
cut to
table.
God of War, punched nothing, walked forward, now is walking back. It's like, did you even look at your footage, dude?
Is what you're gonna throw down for the console. The Xbox One also
I gotta fucking wait, kid. I have to make a video about the PlayStation.
currently runs $350.
What did he do in that clip? I mean, look, okay, this Asian guy's expression is exactly what everyone who just watched that part of the video should be thinking.
Was I supposed to be looking at something?
The lack
you-
of price
Oh, that's
inflation
brilliant.
has made the console cheaper to buy over time, relatively speaking. 4 years ago, the average wage in America was a few percent lower than it is today.
Just
What
walking
I mean by
around with
that
my
is If
baby.
you've kept the same job since then, you've most likely got a small raise every year, increasing your income by hopefully the amount of yearly inflation. That's kind of how the system works.
Okay.
For some strange reason, the video game industry is unaffected by inflation, and prices do not rise year over year.
What the fuck?
Okay, down with thrust.
What the fuck is the PlayStation 4 is not a problematic problem?
Not just that, but dude, to say that games don't cost more. Oh, by the way, we do have, you know, microtransactions, DLC, just loads of different types of gouging, while maintaining the same base price. As Jim Sterling, I think, coined it, instead of saying the base game now, we should say the shell price, as in you buy the game and then you buy all the stuff later that has to fill the game up, because it's not actually a full game, while it used to be a full game. And it's just like to pretend like none of that has happened. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, the games totally haven't been hit by inflation in any way, shape, or form. It's not like they're trying to make more money and sell you the same thing but for more.
I would love to ask all the people who thumbed up this video what they liked about it so much.
Is the main reason why the DLC market, the free-to-play game, pre-order bonuses, and the in-game store were created to make additional
bizarre footage to start using.
I take it back. He did at least mention it. I take it back.
money for game publishers in order to offset this rising cost of doing business via inflation. So combine that information with the fact that the PS4 is now cheaper and that game prices have remained constant, the PlayStation 4 is cheaper to buy with today's currency than it was at any point during its life cycle.
Oh my god.
Well, yes.
If you look back, that Crash Bandicoot gameplay was from the part in Uncharted 4 where you play Crash Bandicoot, because you could see the TV that was in the game. You didn't... Why would you show...
Because it's a different game.
Inflation.
I want to see that again.
So
it's a different game within the game. He didn't just play the actual Crash Bandicoot. He just played Uncharted 4 and got to the part where he played Crash Bandicoot in Uncharted 4.
I accidentally had Jared Genesis pop up against my Hoverzoom, but yeah, that's a very... I was gonna ask why he had like a reduced emulation of it on screen. That was a strange choice, but yeah, you're right. It's actually in Uncharted, I guess, which is okay. You do you. That's another strange.
There you go.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, like...
People in the chat are like, "What the hell was that?" When Jared popped up, sudden Jared sneaking a peek. Jared jump scare.
He comes literally. If you guys look at the stream, he comes right above our heads.
Someone's like, "Jared, you silly goose."
That the PS4 is now cheaper and that game prices have remained constant, the PlayStation 4 is cheaper to buy with today's currency than it was at any point during its life cycle. But
yeah, that's what happens.
I don't.
With
he makes a point.
Price drop.
He makes a point that it goes from 400 to 350. Then he says, and so it's now cheaper to buy it than any other point in its life cycle. I'm confused by that.
It's like, yeah.
Isn't that just 2 plus 2 equals 4?
He makes such a big deal about it. I want to say that he's not really saying something that's blindingly obvious.
So I don't understand how it wouldn't be that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what happens to things. They get cheaper generally, especially after a price cut that you just mentioned.
entry fee as such for a new console.
I'm sorry, someone in the
outsider
chat said Jared is in his natural habitat, belonging nowhere.
Jared jumps.
But the entry fee as such for a new console as an outsider is still incredibly high regardless. People just don't have a lot of disposable income, especially when you consider the average age of gamers has been steadily going down since the boom of the free-to-play.
Hasn't it been steadily going up?
And he just mentioned free-to-play. Free-to-play.
Yeah,
free-to-play.
It's like 31 years now is like the average age.
And isn't the whole thing like old boomers are like, only children play video games?
Yeah, while you have generations in 30s and 40s that used to play the NES and stuff. So, yeah.
The average age of gamers, I think, is like 30. Is like 30s. It's in the 30s, I think.
Well, because he's referencing stuff like Fortnite and MOBAs, which, yeah, they got like a huge boost from kids because kids didn't have to buy them. They could play them for free. As he just said, he was like, yeah, there's a lot in free-to-play, and it's like, so your point about how it's getting harder to pay for them because the audiences are going down in age, and then you reference that the most commonly played games from kids are free-to-play. Do you not understand your own point?
But they would have the console anyway. It's like, but even if the average age goes down, if they are a game player, then they have purchased the game anyway to get into the pool of the average age. I don't know exactly what is. It's.
So anyway,
We only got about a minute and a half left. Yeah.
A few years ago. And when you consider the socio-political climate today, that point gets nailed in even stronger.
What?
The United States
What?
brings in the highest revenue of any country, colony, or territory for the video game industry in the world.
okay.
I
Since
wonder
the
if there's a
Trump
reason
administration-
for that.
Is it because the majority of developers are American rather than any other creed? Because America is enormous? Could that
Yeah,
be?
There's a lot of people in America. The average wages in America are pretty high. People can afford to play video games.
Though, there has been a great deal of litigation and tax oppression towards the lower and middle class groups of our society, which has driven people to be more financially conservative.
When? When was this video? When was this video made?
2016 top
I wanna
100
check
video
and
game
see
revenues
when-
as well.
I'm gonna check and see when this video was made because let's see. Downward thrust.
I mean, he just referenced Trump, so it must have not been too long ago.
So let's see. Downward thrust.
This feels like it could be a topic for a whole video, what he just said, though. Like, what is his point that the United States makes the most money, therefore people buy games more in America? I don't even know. Because his initial point was that people are buying games less because the demographic is getting lower and lower, meaning kids don't have money to spend. And then he's like, but also when you consider this, it nails it in the coffin. The United States makes the United States makes the most money from video game revenue. And I'm like, how does this tie in with anything?
So this video was made in April of 2018. This is after Trump's tax cuts.
His information here is from 2016 though.
But why would? That's been 2 years.
I don't know. I don't even know what point he's making. We should probably at least see what he says, because I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's
Considering-
weird because I just googled like Trump tax cuts. I was looking through. It was like 2 days ago. The Hill: American consumers feel better than ever thanks to the tax cuts. Tax cut for double blah. It's just
I'm so
I don't
lost.
understand. I'm very confused.
I think Jared's videos make more sense than this.
I think so because like there are more and more and more and more gamers. Like the pool of people who are playing video games is getting bigger and bigger.
Also, just to take 1 second to remind everyone, the video's title: "The PlayStation 4's Not So Problematic Problem."
Someone in the chat said Jared would understand.
Jared would understand. He'd see right through this bullshit.
This amount of disposable income in the first place, buying a PlayStation 4 Pro isn't exactly in the cards for a lot of people, especially when you
Why?
Yeah,
What?
but remember the Pro is something that was optional, and what I'm trying to say is that you still have the base PS4. Just because they might not want to buy a PS4 Pro, right? And it was normally said if the Pro isn't going to convince people who already own a PS4 to maybe buy one, but maybe it could convince some people who are looking at a PlayStation to get one.
Not to mention, he talks about free to play. Again, kids don't necessarily, they play in Fortnite right now. That's the newest craze, isn't it? Its demographic is very on average low age group. You have you seen the videos where like kids doing the dances from Fortnite, and they look like 5-year-olds sort of thing? It's just like fucking hell. So I don't see what this has to do with PS4 exactly. Look how you could actually make an interesting topic out of this. You could look at the age demographics for the PS4, and then the overall earnings for those demographics in America on average, and then the prices, and just see what you can see from that. But instead, he's just like, America makes a lot of money, but kids don't.
Yeah, you could say, I mean, it's an interesting thing to talk about if you were to say things like, what does the sudden shift in demographics mean? Like, what has Fortnite done to bring in a bunch of kids who might not have necessarily been gamers, but bring them into the industry? Because it essentially it's acting as a like a gateway kind of game. It's free. You can jump into it. You can play. And now they're on the machine. They want to play other games eventually, so they'll buy new ones, or maybe they might not have bought them before. You know, what are the numbers on that? How many of them are there? I mean, that's an interesting thing to consider.
A lot of people have been saying, by the way, that apparently in Jared's newest video, he talks about how he would never go on podcasts.
Well, maybe we can change that because we got him. The amount of he's
Yeah.
This is his last Jedi video is his first reach 1,000 views. And it's because of us.
Really, man, that's amazing.
Jared, we will promote you if you allow us to have your company. That is our deal.
Jared, it's been 4 weeks without your content. I don't know what to do with myself without your videos. Please come back.
Also, I wasn't saying that Fortnite players are kids. I'm saying that, as far as I know, a lot of kids play Fortnite. I'm sure Fortnite wasn't created for children. I'm sure they had teens in mind, or maybe up, but yeah, I don't know. This video is so confusing.
It clearly has a
He's gonna have a summary. I'm rather excited.
You consider they can get their gaming kicks for free on an iPhone.
Okay.
Does Sony?
iPhones aren't free though. So the thing is, you're just swapping the iPhone for the PlayStation.
Yeah, but the games are free on there. You can't get free-to-play games on the PlayStation except Fortnite. And wait, is Fortnite free on the PlayStation?
I don't know.
It is on
but
PC,
even then
right?
You have stuff like Warframe and all that.
Yeah.
Sure, play games.
Can you get MOBAs on PlayStation? Probably not.
I don't know. It depends. I don't know. The point is that we have 1 minute and 10 seconds left, and he hasn't told us what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, apparently it is free, yeah. So, but yeah, I have no idea what he's talking about. Here we go.
Just 1 minute and 10 seconds until we can finally get back.
Oh, he said the word problem. Here we go. All right.
Their PlayStation. Does Sony have a problem with trying to get people to buy the current version of their PlayStation 4 Pro, knowing that money is tight and people are growing averse to the idea of spending supplementary income on a hobby that they could otherwise get free? Especially...
I love the way he delivers.
Weird.
But do you catch the bit where he just went, otherwise free?
So ultimately, Sony's problem is that they made an alternative PlayStation, and maybe it's going to be hard to convince people to buy it.
Well, I don't understand how this is PlayStation 4's problem when there's new versions of the Xbox coming out as well that they release. So it's their problem too. And yeah, like he's highlighted that money isn't something everyone has, and it's like, so when was this not the case? Why is this PlayStation 4's problem? You remember there was different versions of the PlayStation 2. It's not like everyone had money once upon a time and now we don't.
Yeah, why isn't the title of this video like, will the PlayStation 4? Because he talked about bullshit for 7.5 minutes, and it's just the most vapid nonsense you could ever imagine that everybody already knows. Is these most non-committal, random video game footage mockery of a video production, and it's just then at the very, very end, he's like, oh, but maybe they can't sell as many pros as they thought.
Well,
I guess
he's going to provide the alternative argument now, right? Because he's just said, like, how are they going to sell this when everyone's got such little amounts of money and it's kind of the same thing.
This video could have been like 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Especially since they don't know how long the PlayStation 4 is going to be in circulation, with the PS5 coming around in a couple years. I don't know, but what I do know is that Sony has done a great job with the PlayStation 4, and it's a great system to have.
Thanks for the
regardless
insight.
if you can afford it or not.
It's a great system to have whether you can afford it or not. Okay. How does this
do much good for the people who can't fucking afford it, is it?
And that doesn't help this video at all. I don't understand. Oh my god, it hurts my brain. I never know what he's trying to say.
I don't know, but what I do know is that Sony has done a great job with the PlayStation 4, and it's a great system to have, regardless if you can afford it or not, and regardless if you think it's not going to be a worthy investment for the PlayStation 5's looming ascension just around the corner.
Is it? You've asserted that it's around the corner.
Looming
what do you
ascension?
mean? Next year, 2 years? And what was the point? What's the problem?
I don't even know. I think the problem was
very
that
problematic.
they're releasing new versions of the console and they can't really... He didn't even say they can't sell them. He just said, are people going to buy them?
But the sales keep going up. But people keep buying People just keep buying the PlayStation 4, so
That would Jared.
Jared Thrust.
For now, I will turn it over to you guys to leave me your comments on the following question.
Of course, you can leave it over to.
Should we wait? Should we wait on the question is should we wait on the PS4? That's what you get from this whole fucking video.
The
is
PS5.
for the PS4, PS5.
He's ending it like a chick track again.
Should we wait on the PS5?
Let me say
That's
something.
what this video was about.
Let me say something that's partially controversial. It is very rare that you'll actually have a YouTuber who's invested in hearing what you're gonna say. They want you to comment because it benefits their analytics. They don't actually give a shit. He doesn't care if you're gonna say yes, I will wait on the PS5 or no, I will not. Why would that even? What difference does that make to him? It's like, and how does that even come into play for what he's talked about in this video? How? What part of this video benefits from people saying whether or not they'll wait for the PS5? It's such a bizarre conclusion.
The most common comments are that it's clickbait.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look at the title. It makes you think, oh, is this something about the PS4 I didn't know?
Yeah, it's like, is there a problem? Like, it makes me think that the PlayStation 4 is gonna have like that plateau point where it's so successful it can't get any more, or where it outgrows the market, or where there's gonna be a point where all the studios are working on games and not releasing them, or something. I would never have guessed in a million years that the question was, should we wait on the PS5?
It's like he made all of his points about how there was exclusives, which makes you buy these consoles individually. Then he said the PS4 is just a great console because the exclusives are really good compared to Microsoft. Then he said they release Pro versions. He didn't actually go into why you should or shouldn't buy the Pro version, by the way, which I wouldn't recommend it if you have a PS4. It's not a good enough upgrade. And then he's like, should we wait on the PS5? It's like, what have you told us that would help us decide that?
And I don't get the whole thing about people are oppressed by higher taxes now. It's like, that's just fucking wrong. I don't.
Yeah, I'm lost, but should we see
That's
if he's got promotions in here?
Maybe.
Should people wait for the PlayStation 5? Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Much love, and we'll see you in our next video. Peace, love, and happiness. Until then.
I always love it when he says that.
Happiness guy.
What a waste of my life.
We just watched a segment from Every Frame of Pause, or EFAP, hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet. They critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to Mauler's channel to catch new episodes live on Saturdays, and tune into the EFAP channel to see full episodes, movie and TV commentaries, and gaming streams. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for daily highlights, supercuts, and shorts. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to the original videos and ways to support the crew. Thanks for watching.